it's Luke for Inside the Singularity, and this is a vlog. And I'm back. This is the first video I've uploaded in a while. The last vlog I was talking about going downstate to get tested for cancer, and it turns out I did have cancer. And I've since had it removed. I don't know how well you can see it, but there's a scar on my neck where they took out my thyroid and the cancer as well. It was thyroid cancer. So I've just kind of needed space to process everything. I've needed time to rethink my entire life and all of that. And I have in some way, and another way I'm still doing a lot of processing. I just came back to college. It's going to be my last year in college as well. So there's a lot going on in my life right now. And how am I dealing with things spiritually or emotionally on some level? I'm awesome. I have this visceral sense that getting cancer was the best thing for me. And I'm going to label this vlog something like getting cancer at 23, like, because I just turned 23. But so for me, as young as I am, I've suffered quite a bit, and I've teetered at the edge of death at least a couple times in my life. But here, this was such a slow moving force that at its peak was just not what I expected. And what it did for me is just give me a renewed sense of purpose, life, and drive. And it gave me the courage, I think, to be more bold and to make me be like, hey, I'm here now, this is a gift. I need to be as bold and as fearless as possible with what I'm doing. Now, I talked about in the last vlog about going into a state of no fear, and what that really means is that I'm not saying that I didn't feel any fear. There was plenty of fear that I felt, but my relationship to it has drastically changed, because instead of running away from the fear, I stood and I looked at it and I let it basically burn me alive, and I loved myself through that. So I've dealt with the most amount of fear, pain, and misery that I've ever gone through. When I was in the hospital, it was incredibly painful. There's these two dots here. I don't know how well you can see them. But when I woke up, there was these tubes inside my neck, and they were connected to these canisters collecting my blood and fluid, and I had to carry around those for a couple days. And that was incredibly painful, because every time I would swallow, I would feel that. But I woke up every day so grateful and filled with love and appreciation. My smile hasn't gone away. My love of life has not gone away. My fear has just been numbed. And yeah, I'm in college now. It's been a couple weeks. Dramatically different. I find it so much easier to study than anything. So this is, to me, it's just been utterly life-changing for the better. And so let me make some caveats here. I do have to be on medication for the rest of my life, because they took out my thyroid, which is fun, I guess. If I don't take it, I will get very sick, which kind of sucks that I have to stay on top of that and be very cautious of that. And my voice has suffered a bit. It's slowly coming back. So it's kind of delayed some of the music projects that I'm working on, but I think that would be good. So another thing, it has been, it has put into question for me my role as a what I was going for with Inside the Singularity. So I'm going to spend some time completely rethinking it, completely redoing it in some way, in some caveat. I got rid of the resources section for now. I just don't need that massive amount of work. I don't even know how relevant it is or important. I'm just trying to narrow my focus and just try to make content that is actually doing what I wanted to do. And all of this has still has been an experimental process. I'm not just throwing stuff at the wall. I have to sit and think and contemplate everything here. So I am still getting a life coaching certification. That's still something I want to pursue. And I think now I'm going to be even stronger in that suit because I've been through a deep level of hell and I've found ways to carry myself through it. And I'm much more grounded, which is good. I think it's very good. And I'm much more compassionate and understanding, but also even more healthily detached and progressively needless. So that's that's good, but myself is I had a meeting with the advisor, and she says, "Oh, you're gonna be like a spiritual healer someday. I can sense this about you and all this." And I'm just like, I mean, I've walked people through guided meditations that I know I can be very healing. I have that capacity, but just me getting cancer and all of that just brings me into question about my own health. So I'm going to spend more time just figuring out how to be in a state of well-being mentally and physically. Because I really don't know how I got cancer, but it's not necessarily that I've been the most healthiest person in my whole life. So I'm practicing more, focusing my attention away from worrying and chronic anxiety, just constantly trying to relax myself even more than I already am. So that's a good thing. But also just pursuing things with a more innocent detachment as well, which I think it's very healthy. So there's still a lot of stuff that I have to learn. There's still a lot of things that I am learning about. I never want to give the false impression that I'm somehow perfect or Jesus Christ or any shit like that. I'm not. Maybe to some degree what I aspire to. But it's a long process. I just turned 23. I'm not, I don't have all of my life figured out, which is fine. I mean, there's many things that I figured out and many things I've read many books on and have practiced myself for years and all this other stuff. And so I still can help people, but it doesn't mean I have everything figured out. So maybe some things that I want to address, like, hey, you seem to be at a high vibration, or you seem to be very spiritually awakened and all that. How could something this bad or unhealthy happen to you? Which some people, I've seen think that just because you're awakened and enlightened and all this stuff, that life can't hurt you anymore. Well, I think the difference is life can hurt you, but it doesn't matter so much anymore. I have a healthy detachment from the need to be alive necessarily. It's the need to be this person, this need to be Luke, this, because it's just, I just know it's one of my many infinite iterations that I will be. And even in a grander sense, let me put it this way, I'm grateful that I got cancer, because my journey has not just been rainbows and sunshine. I mean, a lot of my great awakenings have been about love, but I'm glad that God or Source did not, hold out on me. It gave me a full platter of the full experience. And it was a deep invitation to love myself even more, which just spread my love out even more to more people. But also, it matured me on a very, very deep level, which is also just an immense gift in itself. So you can look at it one level and say, hey, this thing happened to you and it was bad, but I'm not just trying to do positive thinking here. I'm not trying to deny that it was potentially life-threatening, it was potentially devastating, but the emotional structural change that it ensued in me was is very important, very life-altering for the better, very life-changing for the better. And that to me is very important. And I've walked away pretty much fine. It's just another minor inconvenience of just taking medicine in the morning, which is fine. So this has been a almost a harmless detour into pain and devastation. And I've used every moment of it to make me stronger and more adept, to deepen my mastery on every level. And that to me is one of the points of life, one of the purposes of life, is just anything that comes to you, anything that arises, is just, it's asking for your love. It's asking you to surrender to it and see it as yourself. And that's what I did. And we want love to be just this all sparkly and nice, all the nice stuff, Valentine's card, but love is the most radical thing. Love is the most heaviest thing. Love is the most brutal thing. Love is everything. And I see it as that. I accept it as that. And it's just amazing what it all is. And I'm just deeply passionate about aligning myself with the truth as much as possible and seeing the truth through everything. And if that means it doesn't serve me, that's fine. So also as well, another thing is you're intuitive. Can you see this coming, or did any of your spirit guides or anything like that? Well, I knew something was up, and I knew something was going to have to happen. I knew at least that I was going to have surgery, so I knew that much from the beginning, the whole time. I just didn't know it was cancer per se, because the answer I got from the universe is like, it's going to be okay, and you're going to need surgery, but you're going to make it out just fine. So I kind of saw it coming. I kind of knew it was going to be a painful, dreadful experience. Now, did I go into, oh, woe is me, how could this happen to me? Oh no, my life, I've been abused and, just horrible shit since I was a child and blah blah blah. No, not, no, no. That 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 part of me died. The victim is it's dead. It's dead. It doesn't exist. I take full responsibility for everything. How could it not be me in some way? And in that way, I'm liberated on a very deep level. Alright, so I'm just want to wrap up this video by talking about my potential thoughts for Inside the Singularity, where it's going. And as always, keep in mind these vlogs are just about, giving you an insight into my life, my thought process, and all of this. Because I know people like me, these weird spiritual people, on the fringes of society, especially someone like me who has become awakened so young, just that is something I've been thinking about, is how did I become so awakened so young? And I think I've talked about this in the past, but this stuff has been on my radar since I was a kid. Like, I've just been so existentially focused. I've been so interested in spirituality and the paranormal, and I did lots of rituals, practically mysticism, alterations of consciousness, chakra work, kundalini work when I was a teenager. This has been my bread and butter, for a very long time, and it's really, really helped me. I'm not saying it's like, there was definitely dark spots growing up so far, but the work, like, even after those dark spots, I was able to come back to it and just grow even more and more and more and take this even deeper. So this is just the way I am. This is the way I like it. And I meet a lot of people who are just starting spirituality. They're like in their 40s or 50s. They're a bit older. Most men I meet my age are not into this kind of stuff. Everyone's very practical, but when I think about it, I might just have a different brain type. I might, just have a vastly different personality. This is what interests me. This is what fascinates me. What I'm trying to say is that I'm not super special. I don't feel like the chosen one. What it more points to me is that this is very possible for a lot of people. And I'm excited about the ramifications for living a great life, for living a profound life, for contributing to society and shaping it to a better, more loving, harmonious vision. That's what I'm more interested in. But just because I'm spiritually adept does not mean I am, awesome at everything else. This is my one of a couple fields of mastery. The other one being music. So there's that. So for Inside the Singularity, what I'm thinking about doing is moving away from kind of like direct advice giving or direct lectures. Like, like that. What I want to do is maybe move into more of a poetic and storytelling and trying to make more artistic statements, or not statements, but just artistic visions that point to the absolute point divinity, or at least maybe have social commentary on society and all of that. Because I don't necessarily see my strong point as in being able to communicate advice through a video. I see my power is inspiring a vision inside of you, inspiring you to do the work, do the meditation, do all of that, but also to give you a different idea of life, to give you different ideas to play with, to expand your imagination. I think that's where I will be more powerful and potent in doing things. So there's that. That's what I'm going to be trying to do. And I'm not entirely sure what it's going to look like yet, but that's what I'm going to be trying out. And I'm also thinking I'm going to be doing a bit more writing as well. So I think that would be sweet. Because I do write a lot. It's just trying to present that. Because I think I write a lot better than I speak. Most definitely. Because I think with all these vlogs, you guys have maybe a decent idea of who I am now, so I don't need to keep making them so much. I don't really feel compelled to keep talking about myself anymore. I felt like I had to, just to lay some groundwork to understand, hey, who is this guy? Where is he coming from? What's he like? Why should I listen to him? And all that. I think that's important. Anytime I start following someone or listening to someone, I want to know who they are, who their influence are, all of that. I just don't listen to them and take everything they say on faith. I want just to know where their ideas are informed from, that kind of deal. And I figured I would do people a service by trying to put as much of my story and influences out there, so you guys have a good idea of where some things may come from, but also see where I'm innovating in my own way. So there's that. There's always a reason and purpose to what I do. So maybe in like a couple of years, people can look back at these videos and understand a bit more about me before they decide to start following me. Or they were just curious and they want to learn about me, which is fine. So yeah. Trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think there's anything else. So with that, it's good to be back. I feel really good recording this video. I'm excited to see where things are going. I'm going to be just trying to have a bit more fun with this. So may you be blessed, and I will see you in the next video.